Remove your scarves. 3 words. Every woman freezes. The American MP is standing in the doorway of the makeshift tent. Philippines, March 1945. The humidity makes everything stick. Clothes, hair, fear. 23 Japanese women are sitting on wooden benches. They're nurses. Or they were. Now they're prisoners. The interpreter repeats it in Japanese. Sukafu o hazusi. Yamamoto's hands move to her headscarf. The cotton is damp with sweat. She's worn it for 8 months straight. Through the bombing of Manila, through the retreat, through capture 3 days ago. But this isn't about comfort. In Japan, unmarried women showing their hair to strange men is like, she can't even think the word. The propaganda warned them, the films, the lectures. When the Americans capture you, they take everything. Your dignity first, your life last. Quick question. Comment below. What country are you watching from right now? Because what happens next will shock you as much as it shocked them. The woman next to her, Takahashi, is 19. She's whispering a Buddhist prayer. Her fingers clutch the scarf's edge like it's the last piece of home she'll ever touch. Kore wa hajimeda. This is just the beginning. That's what Yamamoto thinks. First the scarves, then the uniforms. Then, only 78 Japanese women POWs were captured in the entire Pacific Theater. These 23 are almost a third of them. They've heard what happens to women prisoners. Every army tells the same stories about enemy soldiers. The MP steps forward. He's young, maybe 25. His uniform is clean, too clean for someone who's been fighting in jungle mud. He points to their heads, makes a removing motion with his hands. The interpreter's mouth opens to repeat the order. But something's wrong. The oldest nurse, Suzuki, is 41. She survived the Bataan Death March as a medic. She's seen American soldiers before. She knows their faces. And right now, the interpreter's face is changing. His eyes are widening, not with cruelty, with recognition. He's Japanese-American, Nisei, born in California. And he's just realized what he's asked them to do, what it means in the culture his parents taught him. What these women think is about to happen. The MP is getting impatient. Tell them now. We need to process them before... But the interpreter's face changes when he sees their reaction. The interpreter stops mid-sentence. His hand drops. Sir, wait. Private James Tanaka hasn't spoken English to an officer without being spoken to first. Not once in 2 years of service. But he's seeing something the lieutenant doesn't understand. These women aren't defying orders. They're preparing to die. Sir, in Japanese culture, women's hair is... He's searching for words that will translate. It's not fashion. The scarves are modesty. Like asking American women to remove their... He can't finish. There's no equivalent that makes sense. Lieutenant Morrison is 26. From Iowa. He's been processing POWs for 6 months. Germans, Italians, they all followed medical inspection protocols. Remove hats. Check for lice. Simple. But Yamamoto is trembling now. Not from fear of death, from shame that's worse. Kami o kakusu koto wa hadaka yori warui. Exposing our hair is worse than being naked. That's what her mother told her when she first put on the nurse's scarf. 92% of captured Japanese women were nurses. The scarves weren't just uniform. They were armor, protection, the last wall between them, and complete humiliation. Tanaka tries again. Sir, they think this is the beginning of... Morrison cuts him off. It's for medical inspection, typhus prevention. Tell them that. Tanaka translates. The women don't move because they've heard this before. Their own officers told them stories. Medical inspection was always the excuse. Then came everything else. Suzuki speaks first. Her voice is steady. She's made her peace. Uso desu, itsumo uso desu. It's a lie. It's always a lie. The tent flaps in the humid breeze. Outside, diesel generators hum. Other POWs, male soldiers, are being processed in the next tent. They're removing caps without question. But they're men. The rules are different. Takahashi's fingers are white where she grips her scarf. She's thinking about her parents in Kyoto. They'll never know what happened to her. That's the only comfort they'll never know. Morrison doesn't understand the gravity. How can he? In Iowa, women show their hair. It's normal, natural. But here, now, in this tent, he's asking them to cross a line they can't come back from. The American officer doesn't understand until one woman starts crying. Yamamoto's tears aren't from fear, they're from shame she hasn't even experienced yet. She's 22, a head nurse. She's sutured arteries while bombs fell, held dying soldiers as they called for mothers they'd never see again. But this, removing her scarf in front of foreign men, breaks something the war couldn't touch. Shinitai, I want to die. She says it quietly, matter of fact, like stating the weather. Morrison freezes. He's seen POWs cry before, Germans sobbing with relief at capture, Italians weeping for dead friends. But this is different. This is someone choosing death over dishonor. The average age of Japanese POW nurses, 19 years old. The youngest in this tent is 17, Harada. She volunteered after her brother's unit was destroyed at Saipan. She's been wearing the same scarf for 11 months. It still smells like the hospital soap from Tokyo. Tanaka translates Yamamoto's words. Morrison's face changes. Jesus Christ, tell them, nobody's going to hurt them. But that's not what they're afraid of. Physical hurt they can endure. They've proven that. It's the spiritual destruction, the knowledge that they've been exposed, seen, violated by eyes, even if never by hands. In their training, they were told, if captured, die with honor. They carry cyanide pills sewn into their uniform hems. 3 of them still have theirs. They're waiting for the right moment. Suzuki stands. She's the senior nurse. If someone must be first, it will be her. Her hands move to her scarf. No, Morrison says. Wait, stop. She pauses. The lieutenant looks around the tent, sees their faces, really sees them. Not enemy combatants, not military assets, young women who think he's about to destroy them. He makes a decision that isn't in any manual. His hands move to his own helmet. The steel is hot from Philippine sun. Sweat drips as he lifts it. His hair is plastered to his skull, dirty. Probably has lice himself. He sets the helmet on the ground, vulnerable, human. The women stare. American officers don't remove helmets during processing. It's against protocol. But Morrison is trying to say something without words, something about equality, about shared humanity. Yamamoto stops crying, confused now. Why would he make himself vulnerable? The American officer does something no one expects. He removes his own helmet. Lieutenant Morrison's hair is crawling with lice. He knows it. They know it. Everyone in the Pacific has them. Tell them, he says to Tanaka, this is medical. Typhus killed 3,000 POWs last month. We're trying to save lives. Tanaka translates. The women don't believe it. Usoda. It's a lie. Harada says it. 17 years old. She's heard about medical experiments. Unit 731. What armies do to prisoners in the name of science. Morrison pulls out a paper. Military Medical Protocol. Points to the words typhus prevention. Shows them the date. March 1945. Fresh ink. Every POW gets checked. Germans, Italians, our own soldiers when they're rescued. Everyone. He's trying. But they can't read English. And even if they could, paper lies as easily as voices. The diesel generator outside sputters. The sound makes everyone jump. In the next tent, male POWs are being processed. Voices carry through canvas walls. Routine, calm, no screaming. Morrison tries something else. He scratches his own head. Vigorous, desperate, then shows his fingernails. Tiny specks. Lice. See, I have them too. We all do. It's absurd. An American officer showing parasites to enemy nurses. But something in his desperation reaches them. He's not acting like a conqueror. He's acting like a medic with a problem. Suzuki watches him carefully. She's seen American POWs in Japanese camps. They were told Americans were soft, weak. But this one is different. He's concerned. 85% of POWs who got checked survived typhus. The 15% who refused died within weeks. Morrison knows these numbers. He's seen the bodies. Look, he says, we can do this different, private, dignified. But it has to happen, Tanaka translates. Adds something of his own. Kare wa honto ni shinpai shite iru. He's genuinely worried. Yamamoto studies Morrison's face. He's sweating, not from heat, from stress, from trying to bridge a cultural gap he's just beginning to understand. She has a question, speaks through Tanaka. Why did you remove your helmet? Morrison pauses. The truth is, he doesn't know. Instinct, something his mother taught him about respect. When asking something difficult, make yourself equally vulnerable. But the women still won't remove their scarves, until the interpreter whispers something. Tanaka leans close to Suzuki. His whisper carries in the humid air. Josei no kangoshi. Akaji. Female nurse. Red Cross. Suzuki's eyes widen. There's a woman? An American woman who could? Morrison catches on. Yes, Mary. Lieutenant Mary Collins. She's a Red Cross nurse. She can do the inspections. The tent shifts, like atmospheric pressure dropping before a storm. The women are processing this information. An American woman, medical professional. It changes everything. But also, it could be another lie. The Red Cross had only 4 female volunteers per 10,000 male soldiers in the Pacific. Finding one here now seems impossible. Too convenient. Takahashi speaks. We want to see her first. Morrison nods, leaves the tent. His footsteps fade on packed dirt. The women wait. Nobody moves. Scarves stay in place. Outside, a truck engine starts, drives away. Silence. Yamamoto counts heartbeats. 50, 100, 200. Then, footsteps, lighter, different rhythm. A woman enters, American, Red Cross armband bright against khaki uniform. She's 30-something, auburn hair pinned under a cap. Her face is sunburned, tired, but her eyes are soft. Hello, she says. Doesn't wait for translation. Pulls out a canvas partition, sets it up in the corner, creates a private space. Then she does something unexpected. She removes her own cap, shows her hair. Lice-bitten scalp, scratches. Me too, she says. Points to herself, then to them. Same. It's pidgin English, universal Pacific language, but the gesture transcends words. Kanojo wa onna desu ka? She is a woman? Harada asks, like she can't believe it. In Japanese military, women were nurses, but never officers, never in charge. This American woman has lieutenant bars, authority. Mary Collins kneels, eye level with sitting women, not superior position, equal. One at a time, she says, gestures to partition. Private, no men, Tanaka translates. Suzuki makes the decision. She'll go first. Test if this is real or elaborate deception. She stands, walks to the partition, disappears behind canvas. The other women hold their breath, listen for screams, struggle, anything. Instead, they hear Mary's voice, gentle, professional, the soft sound of fabric moving, a surprised gasp. The first woman enters the private area and gasps at what she sees. Behind the canvas isn't what Suzuki expected. There's a mirror, small, handheld, military issue, but it's the first mirror she's seen in 8 months. Her reflection stops her breathing. Is that her face? Cheekbones sharp as broken glass, eyes sunk deep. Hair, when Mary gently removes the scarf, gray at 28. When did that happen? Mary doesn't grab, doesn't pull. She holds the mirror steady and says, "You check, I watch." She demonstrates on herself, parts her own hair, shows Suzuki how to look for nits, lice, signs of infection, then hands her a fine-tooth comb. You do you. It's broken English, but the meaning is clear. Dignity preserved, control maintained. Suzuki's hands shake as she combs, not from fear now, from seeing herself. Japanese women hadn't seen mirrors in 8+ months. Average weight loss, 30 pounds. She's lost 40. Watashi wa dare? Who am I? She whispers it to her reflection. The woman in the mirror doesn't look like a head nurse, doesn't look like someone who saved 12 lives during the Manila bombing. Looks like a ghost. Mary pretends not to notice the tears, pulls out antiseptic, gauze, shows Suzuki each item before using it. No surprises, no sudden movements. Small cuts here, Mary points to Suzuki's scalp. From scratching, I'll clean, okay? Suzuki nods. The antiseptic stings. Familiar smell. Same medicine she used on wounded soldiers. Same protocol. Same careful hands. Through the canvas, the others are listening, waiting. Yamamoto has her hand on her cyanide pill, ready if Suzuki screams, but Suzuki is remembering something. Before the war. Nursing school in Tokyo. An American instructor teaching wound care. Same gentle efficiency, same respect for the patient. Mary works in silence, professional. When she's done, she offers something unexpected, a clean scarf. For after, she says, when you're ready. Morrison removed his helmet to show vulnerability. That's why, not power, not dominance, shared humanity. The gesture was about trust. Suzuki emerges from behind the partition, scarf on, but different, cleaner, head held higher. She nods to Yamamoto. It's safe. One by one they go behind the canvas. Each gasps at their reflection. Each emerges changed, not violated, treated. But the seventh woman, Takahashi, doesn't come out. One woman refuses to leave the mirror. She's seen something terrifying. Nurse Takahashi is staring at the back of her neck in the mirror, under the scarf hidden for weeks, infected wounds, shrapnel cuts from when the hospital was bombed. She'd wrapped them, forgot them, let the scarf cover the shame of being wounded. Now they're black at the edges. Pus. The smell hits Mary immediately. Oh my God. Mary doesn't mean to say it in English, but Takahashi understands the tone. Horror. Urgency. How long? Mary asks through gestures. Holds up fingers. 1, 2. Takahashi holds up 3. Weeks. Without treatment, she has maybe 4 days before blood poisoning kills her. The infection is already spreading. Red lines creeping up toward her skull. Mary moves fast now. No. Time for permission asking. Pulls out iodine, scissors to cut away dead tissue, real surgical tools. The iodine burns like fire. Takahashi bites her lip hard enough to draw blood, but she doesn't cry out. Can't let the others know she's been hiding wounds. In Japanese military, wounded nurses who couldn't work were abandoned. Nazi Tasukeru? Why save me? Takahashi asks it while Mary works. She's the enemy. Should be left to die. That's what her officers would do to wounded Americans. Mary doesn't understand the words, but she understands the question. Every POW asks it eventually. She pulls out a card, shows Takahashi. It's in English, but there's a red cross, universal symbol, and a photo. Mary with Japanese-American children at an internment camp in California, before she shipped out. She points to the children, then to Takahashi, then to herself, makes a circle gesture. Same. The meaning transcends language. We're all human. 67% of Japanese POWs had untreated infections. Mortality rate without treatment, 90% within 10 days. Takahashi would have been dead by Thursday. Mary finishes cleaning, wraps fresh gauze. Gives Takahashi a small bottle. Sulfa powder. Gestures twice daily, morning, night. Takahashi stares at the medicine. American drugs. More than her own army gave her. They'd run out of medical supplies months ago. Been told to endure with spirit. She emerges from behind the partition. The others see the bandages, the medicine, the fact that she's alive. Yamamoto asks what happened. Takahashi can't speak, just holds up the sulfa powder, medicine that costs more than a soldier's monthly pay. The American nurse's answer makes every Japanese woman in that tent question everything. Because you're not soldiers anymore, you're patients. Mary says it through Tanaka. But the women don't understand. Soldiers are always soldiers, even captured, even dying. Mary pulls out a small book, red cover, shows them the title in English, then has Tanaka translate, Geneva Convention, Rules of War. The women have never heard these words. Japan never ratified the 1929 Geneva Convention. 0% of Japanese soldiers knew POW rights existed. They were told surrender meant torture, experimentation, death. No rules, no protection. Mary opens the book, points to a passage. Tanaka translates slowly. Wounded and sick shall be collected and cared for. Nurses and medical personnel, even if captured, maintain protected status. Yamamoto shakes her head. Uso no ue ni uso. Lies upon lies. She's been told her whole life that international law is Western propaganda, that only Japanese honor matters, that enemies follow no rules, but Mary keeps reading. Through Tanaka, female prisoners must have separate quarters, privacy, female guards when possible. That's why the partition, the privacy, Mary's presence. It's not kindness, it's law. Harada interrupts. Then why did our officers say... She stops. Can't finish. Because the answer is forming. Their own officers lied, made them carry cyanide, made them fear capture more than death. Mary sees their confusion, pulls out another paper. List of Japanese POWs in American camps, thousands of names, alive, receiving medical care, sending letters home. The tent is silent. The diesel generator outside has stopped. Even the air feels still. Suzuki finally speaks. Show us proof. Mary nods, understands. Words are just words. She calls Morrison back in. He brings a box. Letters. From Japanese POWs in Hawaii camps to families in Japan, through Red Cross channels. The women recognize the handwriting. Japanese characters, photos included. POWs gaining weight, playing baseball, working in gardens. Ikita Iru. They're alive. But believing it, truly believing it, that's different. They've been told for 3 years that captured means dead, that Americans kill all prisoners. That's why they fought so hard, why they chose death over surrender. Will they believe it? The evidence is here. But 20 years of propaganda doesn't die in 20 minutes. 3 weeks later, something happens that proves it wasn't propaganda. Yamamoto receives something impossible. A letter from her mother. 3 weeks have passed. They're in a proper POW camp now. Quonset huts, real beds, their scarves cleaned and returned. Some wear them, some don't. Choice. The letter is in her mother's handwriting, dated 2 weeks ago, from Nagano. Ikit Iru. You're alive. That's the first line. Her mother was told by the Red Cross, your daughter is alive, captured but safe, receiving medical care. Yamamoto's hands shake. Her mother knows she surrendered, knows she chose dishonor over death. But the next line, Anata o hokori ni omoimasu. I am proud of you. The paper crinkles as tears hit it. Around her, other nurses are receiving letters. 4,000 letters delivered to Japanese POWs. Families who thought 100% were dead, who held funeral rites, who burned photographs, now learning their children live. Takahashi's infection is healed. The sulfa powder worked. She's gained 12 pounds. Writes her own letter home, tells her parents about Mary, about the mirror, about the moment she realized the propaganda was backwards. They weren't the ones being protected from American brutality, they were being protected from American humanity. Because if Japanese soldiers knew POWs were treated well, would they fight to the death? Would they crash planes into ships? Would they choose suicide over surrender? The answer forms slowly, painfully. No. Suzuki is teaching English to Mary now. Exchange. Mary learns Japanese. They share nursing techniques. Discover they use the same suture method, same triage priorities, same oath to do no harm. Quick comment below. What year are you watching this? Because these women lived into the 2000s, kept those scarves, told their grandchildren about the day they thought they'd die, and instead found mirrors. Yamamoto writes back to her mother, tells her about Morrison removing his helmet, about Mary's gentle hands, about the Geneva Convention they never knew existed. But mostly, she writes about the scarves. How they thought removing them meant losing everything, how keeping them meant choosing to live, how a piece of cloth became a bridge between two cultures that thought they could never understand each other. They believed because actions matched words over time. The scarves they feared losing became symbols of survival.